Well, an electric 15 minutes from Hany and the front line really and truly set us up for what is a monumental win here against what I have to presume was a confident Chicago team coming into the game. 9 goals in 3 games. There were certainly concerns going into this with the talent that they have and the abilities that they have. But I think we proved yet again that this stadium and our home field has been a place that we've produced some very, very good football. And tonight, I think maybe we just got some of the reward that we've seen either not quite go away or squandered in the past, and certainly results that I felt we deserved. But tonight, we got what we deserved. We managed the game well when we needed to, and 5 goals is always a very nice feel.
Yeah, Gary, especially with Hany's goals, did you have any impression or surprise feeling knowing how they came about, considering they were kind of almost like a breakaway opportunity every single time, with Hany basically taking either 2 touches or no touches and before putting it away? Were you surprised that you were able to open up Chicago in that way?
Yes and no, but if you look back at the games that we've had recently at home, Philadelphia, we scored very quickly in the game from a bright and positive counter-attack or attack in the opening exchanges that obviously CJ scored. The one thing I would say is that trio of CJ, Hany and Randall have shown some really lovely, not just qualities, but connections. There's some real nice interaction. And probably, you know, the most productive thing about their play is they're constantly on the move and asking questions of their opposing players. I think tonight they took advantage of, you know, a back trio that, you know, are good defenders, but big, and maybe not quite as nimble to you know, get that pressure on and move their feet. The first goal was, you know, an interception and a good choice, obviously, from CJ to set Hany up. But I think all in all, you know, there was a real vibrant feel about our attacking. It's not something that we haven't seen. What we've been unable to do before is take full advantage of the moments that are created. If you cast your mind back to, you know, the early games, Cincinnati and Montreal, we created some terrific opportunities, but were unable to obviously claw back the deficit that we were in. I think there's a maturity in the group that we're starting to see, and certainly here, we've become a tough proposition.
Ben.
Yeah, just after our conversation following the Atlanta game, I remember you talked about how disappointing it was not to be able to go up into second, and now after this, you're tied on points with Orlando for second. Scored 5 goals, which I believe equals the record for Nashville. Just what does a win like this do for the mood in the group before you go into the road, especially after disappointing results in Atlanta?
Well, yeah, there's a number of emotions, of course. No point, you know, looking back. The only way for us to function is to look forward and be positive. And tonight's result, at the start of a week where I think just about everyone's playing 3 times, gives everyone the opportunity to make up ground or solidify certain positions in the league. We're no different. We were after a good result and maybe a bit of a statement result tonight with 5 goals. And, you know, it gives us a confidence boost, but also reinforces the fact that, you know, we're capable of putting that type of scoreline on the board. And also taking advantage of a very good team. Let's not forget that. You know, Chicago, whilst they started the season slowly, have certainly rounded into gear. have looked confident, have scored 9 goals, as I've said already. And I would think they came here thinking if they could get themselves nudged in front, that this could be a good day for them as well. And in 15 minutes, we'd really got on the front foot and given ourselves a fabulous opportunity of bagging all 3 points. That's testimony and character to the group. And I'm delighted that, obviously we're able to not only bag the 3 points, but in such an exciting fashion.
Hey, Coach. Amaro Madron, Chicago's number 10, was really one of the hotter players for them in this past 3 games, 5 assists for him. What about your game plan? Did he feature in shutting him down, or was it tonight just about playing your game?
No. In answer to the last bit, yes, it was about playing our game, but how do we negate any of the qualities that our opponents have, not just Chicago tonight, but it's always part of the way we go about our business. There's a lot of positives and a lot of qualities in our group, but I certainly believe that we should be respectful of what other teams are capable of. I think he's one of the most talented midfield players in the league, full stop. And there was certainly, in my mind, a necessity to prevent him from, really taking hold of the game, because he's capable of really making their team tick, not just in terms of managing the game and possession, but he's a creator really at heart. He's a slightly deeper in his role, very Pirlo-esque in the way that he's positioned in their group. And the guys did a fabulous job of limiting him to what he could do for their group. But I suspect the sending off, certainly caused them some serious problems, and, going in at a big deficit down was not going to be easy for them, full stop.
With the Aliseda goal, obviously, to begin the second half, how did you assess the goal and, of course, the response to it?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I don't want that to be anywhere close to a feature of how this game's gone. Me, I'd love to have kept a clean sheet. And I would say, flat out, I'll take a 5-1 any day of the week over a 0-0 draw and a clean sheet. I'm disappointed that we started the half so slowly. There was a big part of the conversation at half-time that, was wrapped around how we affected that second period and in the early exchanges. They needed to throw caution to the wind and take chances because, they were lagging behind heavily, and that was really the only way of getting back in the game. So I'm sure it gave them a big lift, and I was very much aware of them getting on the front foot and still being very capable. They've got a lot of good players, real good players. And, I don't think it should be overlooked tonight just how little they achieved in those opening exchanges especially. I know it's tough when you go down a man, but they're a good team, real good team.
Gary, the 5 goals obviously hasn't happened before, but you've been creating plenty of chances throughout the season. Does it feel, I know you've stuck to your philosophy throughout the season, but does it feel a little bit validating to score 5 goals like this, but also kind of in a performance that's similar?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've looked at multiple results here, even when we've won, and felt as though we could have made our life a lot more comfortable. And tonight we've been able to do that. What we know in this sport is it's rare to put yourself in a position where, you feel as though you're going to be difficult to catch. I still felt at half-time that if they could get themselves on the sheet, they had enough goal-scoring players on the field to cause us a problem. And it was all about attitude at that point. But, to that degree, it's so exciting for the fans. It's a huge confidence boost for the players. It's wonderful for the organisation. And again, I don't think any of us should forget that we're, not much more than 18 months into our, into our history and our world, if you like. And we're sitting in, joint second spot with, some tough games coming up, but so much in front of us to try and achieve. I think we're in a terrific position. We've got plenty to fight for now. What we know of old is that this league constantly throws you a curveball. And one week when I'm sitting here, like the grouch and moaning about set pieces, the following week I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face, if you couldn't see. And, everything's rosy. But the one thing that I don't think any of us have done, other than me moaning here against, the game against Atlanta, is think that everything's achieved. It's not. It's a great win. We'll be excited and I'll enjoy it, and so will the players. Unfortunately, we won't have long to enjoy it because we've got a tough game on Wednesday. But it's certainly much better for us going into that game feeling the way we do than having had a tough night tonight.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you're going into Columbus with in 5 matches at home. Some things have been new, bringing some new things to the fold, particularly some of the guys who have filled in to help you transform into some new shapes. So obviously, up against Philly, you talked about how great Wheel and Lovins were as wingbacks. Obviously tonight we see Dylan coming in, makes his first start. How did you see him kind of basically feel natural in that spot and basically prove to you what it seems that you can have another option in your weaponry in terms of different shapes of protectors?
Yeah, look, Dylan's got a little bit more experience than maybe one or two of the guys that we've brought in this year as college recruits, but it's still very early on in his professional career. I think as defenders, you got to be won over. It's a different position. The attackers are about inspiration and creation, and sometimes they get their chance a little bit sooner. But as far as defenders go, I need to be convinced that those individuals are reliable mentally as well as physically. There's an understanding and appreciation of what this team's about and what's needed. And it's taken Dylan a little bit longer than maybe he would have liked. And there's probably been some frustration and disappointment along the way. But he's a good kid. He's a very genuine kid. And I think his display couldn't have been much better tonight for the team and for him. He doesn't need to be a 9 out of 10. He needs to consistently be a 7 out of 10. And tonight he's been a 7 out of 10. The more times he can do that, the more trust that's built. He's played wing-back before, I know he has, and I've wanted to try and give all of these younger players, when they've had their debuts, a position that they're comfortable with, they understand, and that they can warm to and really, put themselves in a good spot, fulfil what they're about. Dylan's been able to do that. He was terrific in the opening exchanges. Lots of energy, good pressure, very competitive. Wonderful cross, I remember, in that first 10, 12 minutes. And he was part of a group that really started off on fire. So I'm delighted he's played well. And, I'm sure he is.
We have time for one more question. Tim Sullivan on the call. Tim, whenever you're ready.
Gary, you've talked a couple times already about having created these chances and not necessarily been able to finish them. Hany has been one of the guys who's kind of been struck by that. How happy are you for him tonight to have the night that he did, and especially converting the chances that he did create?
Absolutely delighted for him. He's been extremely bright, along with the other two lads up front. They've really given us purpose and, a buzz about our front line that I think when you're at home, you desperately need, of course. And maybe it's, this shape's not for an forever thing. It's certainly been productive for us at home. And we're going to run into some games away from home now that will present different challenges. But, as part of that attacking group, he has been a real catalyst, not just obviously for his own gain, but for others as well. And I couldn't be more delighted for him, as I think either I said in here or someone did in the changing room, that it's the quickest MLS hat-trick in history, I believe. So to that degree, it's a nice record for him to hold at this point.
Felt good, It's always like it's a good feeling scoring your first goal in Major League Soccer. I'm happy. I've been working on it, and I'm grateful.
Describe the play, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I just, I follow a lot of what Gary keeps saying, and he's always to honestly, I was following up to just, be on the top of the box, maybe win the ball back. But then also the opportunity presented himself, and Dylan played me a great ball back, and I just remember what the coaches always tell me, and I try to stay over the ball, and it was a cultured finish.
Thank you, Brian. We will now open the floor for questions. We will kick it off with Trey Hill.
Yeah, I was curious, even in the process of the celebration, what were you trying to get the fans to do? Like you were trying to spark the red sea, or
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny story because so I was getting a massage yesterday before the game from one of our physios, Jorge, and so we're just having this conversation, and then I was telling him, hey, he never massages me, and so it was my first time he ever touched me, and I was saying hey, you touched Abu, and Abu went in and played 15 minutes and scored a goal or something, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna score tomorrow. And so when I scored, and then I remembered him and remember having that conversation, and it's a beautiful thing to go find him and celebrate with him.
The past couple matches when you've been in the starting lineup, obviously getting the goal is a nice reward for that. But how do you feel about your performance overall, even outside of the goal?
I feel good. Yeah, I'm trying to improve my game. I'm always trying the will to learn and improve. With Dax coaching me, little advice here and there, and Gary and Steve Guppy, Coach Brett, all the coaches. I'm trying to improve my game playing forward, adding in something to the attack, and also not forgetting the basic of what player I am is to win the ball and help the team to be stable. Yeah.
Brian, do you feel like you're probably at the top of your confidence in terms of understanding what Gary wants from you? Because I know you've talked about trying to understand what Gary has assigned you, and of course, as you just mentioned with Dax and that understanding as well. Do you feel that you're at the top of your confidence in understanding that?
Yeah, I've been also given a little bit of, no, I would not say freedom, but a little of license to go forward, which was not the case last year because we're not in that spot to open up the field and go forward. We have a much balance and understanding now that I'm being told a little bit, from the coaching staff to maybe drive forward a little bit, and which is something that was much, my role of last year was more stable, staying and, helping stabilize things. But, I've been given a little bit of a license, I think. Yeah.
Brian, you've talked about, even tonight and before, Dax and Anibal, how, have been mentoring you as veterans in this league. It's safe to say that you're really making a name for yourself in Anibal's absence. He'll come back after his injury. He and Dax are not getting any younger. Do you see yourself kind of pushing for more playing time?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be rely on the coaching staff to make that decision. I just have to. If my name is called up, we have great midfielders. Whether it's me or Madla Grasso, we have Cozy. You guys don't see him, but he's working hard. Whoever's name is called up, and to perform. And I think we're all ready. And also, like, we're playing as an athlete, as a soccer player. You're playing for the future. I love Nashville. Obviously, I wanna stay here, but you never know with sports.
Tim Sullivan with the next question.
Hany, you talked a little bit about kind of the forward play and also the confidence in response to a couple of the previous questions, but is it almost a breeze when you guys go up 3-0 and you're up a man within the first 16 minutes of the game? Does that kind of give you that mental boost to really almost cruise to victory?
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen teams come back from, with 10 men? It's not easy as some people look at it from the outside. It's very difficult because they have nothing to lose and they're just playing, and they push, and we have to, you could see they got one goal back. But we were determined to go kill the game and get as many goals as we want. We wanted to make a statement, and I felt like, the message was passed across from the captain, and we all followed to go forward and push and repress.
Okay, we have one final question from Ben Wright.
You have a tough game coming up against Columbus in a couple days. Just what's the difference going into a match like that with a win like this under your belt?
It's amazing. I think it's what we needed. From the game from Atlanta, we're very disappointed not getting the win, and especially playing at home for the fans. We really needed that win against Chicago, and I was feeling good before the game, and I knew we could do it because I believe in like the training sessions that we've been having all week, and so it's a good boost to go into Columbus and why not get a result,
History, you were the fastest hat trick to be scored in Major League Soccer, and the second fastest in terms of intervals. How did that happen? What took you to score all those 3 goals?
Yeah, amazing day for me. It's not happened every time. I work hard every training, and I will keep doing it. Of course, I'm very happy, but yeah, we have to continue this way, and I have to continue this way. So yeah, a lot of work in front of me.
We will now open the floor for questions. We'll kick it off with Drake Hughes.
What does it say about you to still essentially feel unsatisfied even after the third? Because you were twice after the third goal. You had the first one that was called off, and then you had another chance when unfortunately Shuttleworth saved it. Is that the mentality that you want to continue? Do you not want to give yourself too much credit after scoring the hat trick and obviously making club history? Where's your mind at right now?
Of course, I'm happy to score the 3 goals, but I had several chances. I hit the post before we scored the 5th goal, I think. I was very close, I think. I haven't seen it yet, but I think where I chipped the goalkeeper was very close. And I had a big chance where the center back missed the ball. That's part of my job. I always want to score, and in that moment, I'm not thinking about, okay, I scored already 1 goal or 2 goals. That's not in my head. If I have a chance, I just want to score, and I'm this type of number 10. I like to score, and I like to help this way the team. Of course, I can give an assist, but I'm a very attacking midfield player. I would describe it like that.
Hany, congratulations. This is Daniel from blowout. Your hat trick and the fastest one in MLS. Congratulations for that. And how do you saw the team performance tonight?
Thank you. First of all, I think from the beginning you could feel it that we want to win and we have to win. Obviously the last home games we were always the better team, but we couldn't create our chances into goals. So that's part of our responsibility. Me, CJ, and Rondal, we are offensive player. We need to score and we need to create chances. So it's very important for us offensive player to get these chances, because last year we didn't create that many chances, but also to score the goals. And in the end, of course, was a very good performance from all of us. and we have a very, very difficult game on Wednesday.
What's it been like playing in this kind of new system with a three at the back up and you're up top with CJ and Randall? How's that been, and what do you like about that system?
I mean, I like it because we have a lot of players behind us, and yeah, I mean, we have a little bit more freedom. I would describe it like that. We don't have like a fixed position. We can move around, and the last couple of games it worked. So yeah, I don't care which system. We just have to win and be successful. Then that's the best system for me.
Hany, with 7 goals, you're now kind of in the conversation of Golden Boot. Has that been on your mind any?
No, I mean, I never think on stuff like that. For me, I'm a team player. I want to win. I want to be successful as possible with Nashville. That's why I'm here. And like I said, I like to score goals. That's part of my job. But in the end, the most important is to win. And if we win and I don't score, I'm happy.
Great.
And you talked about, obviously, you more of an attacking number 10. Did you feel that when you first came in, as you went through the rest of last season, the beginning of this season, that you were more of attacking, or did you feel that you were more of a creator, and now that you're finally being able to attack more?
I mean, to be honest, last year I hate to find excuses. Last year was one of the most difficult years for everyone, and me, of course. New country, no one could visit me because of the pandemic, and yeah. But I don't want to look back. But in the end, now I know the guys better, and they know me better. They know my strengths, and I know their strengths. So it fits better. It takes always time. But I think still we can develop a lot of our game.
Go ahead, Ben.
You guys lost a couple of close matches in Columbus last year, including that one in extra in the playoffs. Do you feel going into this one that something's different, and what's your mentality and confidence like going into this?
Yeah, I mean, last year was very unlucky. Yeah, but that's a new season. We are better than last year, for sure. And yeah, we know how tough it is to play there. But yeah, we have the confidence, and we need to show. That's the beauty in football. No one cares about the last game. It's always a new chance, and yeah, we have to do our best and go with focus in that game.
Thank you. Oh, one final question from Drake.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about Brian and CJ's goals. Obviously, with the mentality you had and the momentum you were playing with, when you're able to still be a part of it and see your teammates be able to find the net, how do you feel about that? How do you see yourself in that moment?
Yeah, first of all, I need to give credits to Brian Anunga. Lovely player. I love to play with him. He's a warrior. He fight on the pitch. I love that. He knows that. I tell him that before every game. He's a very, very talented player, in my opinion, and he really deserved that goal. He deserved 1 assist. I didn't score. I told him that after the game. But yeah, he have to keep going, and I really believe in him because he's a great player. And CJ, it worked well with me and CJ on top, so I'm very happy that he could score.